We are live.
Cheers, cheers, everybody. Welcome to another shift of the 9 to 5 boys.
That's right. That's right, Morty. Morty.
Oh, you get the lab coat. Oh,
Yeah. I
and
mean,
the
I'm not
flask.
technically Rick for Halloween, but I was like a beer doctor. Hold on, I have my official name tag.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. I saw that.
Beer a day keeps the doctor away.
That's perfect, man. I love that. Yeah, because we're recording this on Halloween. Um, I didn't dress up for anything for Halloween. I didn't really feel like it this year. I could have gone easily as John Lennon. I got the hair, I got the glasses, the
You do.
sunglasses especially, and probably could have just. Oh, if I gotten that nice white suit he has on the cover of Abbey Road, dude. Oh, that would have been sweet.
Oh, dude.
Would have been perfect. I'll do that next year because I'll keep growing my shit out. But
And you're learning to
uh,
play an instrument, so there you go.
yeah, exactly. I'm learning
Yeah.
guitar. I just let's see, what riffs did I get down? I got down Brain Stew and Sat.
Sorry, you
I'm working
froze.
on Wild Things. Huh?
You froze for a bit. What was the second one after
Oh,
Brain Stew?
sorry. I it was Satisfaction by the Rolling Stones, and then I'm currently trying to learn. I'm trying to get down Wild Thing and Whole Lot of Love. So we'll see how that goes. But it's fun so far, man. I love playing today. But no, and then at work today was cool because they had like a Halloween party, so like other people dressed up and like did their thing and had fun, right? It was cool, man. It was sweet. It was very cool.
Dude, if you just went like dressed as you are now and just like tied up your hair in like a man bun, you could have just said, "Hey, I'm a hipster. Like, where's your local craft IPA place? I want to play
Yeah,
some.
exactly.
I
Just
want to
be
play
like
some
walking
vinyl."
around like I'm pretending holding a craft IPA beer, you know? That'd be
Exactly.
perfect. That'd be sweet. Or I could have gone in shorts and a white beater and a robe and sandals and just say I'm the dude. Trim it down to like a goatee, man. That'd be cool.
Or like,
I thought
where's
about
the?
going to goatee, but I like having the full beard. I like the full wraparound. You know what I mean?
Or you go in with like a old bed sheet well, not old bed sheet. I mean like a clean bed sheet that's you've had lying around for a while, and then like a red like sash around your side, and just say like, "I'm Blue Eyed Jesus."
I'm Jesus, man. That'd be. There's this movie coming out called The Jesus Revolution, which like it looks like it could be good, but like it also like trailer makes it look really generic and bad. I mean, the soundtrack's gonna be fucking killer because it's set in the '60s, so it's about this church taking in a bunch of hippies, which apparently was revolutionary. Which like I don't really see why hippies were a problem, man. I mean, they also were very anti-establishment, so I can understand that. But yeah, it looks like it could be good or bad.
Look,
But
I think it was because mostly the sex and drugs aspect of it, whereas like conservative Christian Americans were like, "You don't
hey
get to do
man,
that. We want to do that, but we shouldn't do that because God tells us not to." Like,
it's a sin, buddy. Come on, stop doing some premarital right there, man. That's bad.
exactly. Stop like dancing around with some woman with her muff out and like tripping balls on acid. Like, come on.
That's not close to God, man.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, that's a pretty good explanation for why they had an issue took issue with the hippies.
Yeah, because if you look
Um,
back in like when major societies we know today started, like everything that we have going on, not just like society as a concept in general. I mean, like in
mhm,
like just the overall major workings of how our modern day society works. It started back post World War II. You got the economic upswing. People are like having good Christian American patriotic values. They're getting homes in the suburbs and whatnot. Things are great. Then the 60s rolls around. People starts to question, is this exactly what we want in life?
is this it, man? Is this what we want? You know?
Do we want to explore more outrageous themes, like sexual freedom, experimenting with drugs? And then lo and behold, they
Hmm.
do exactly that. Then the 70s, it's kind of a weird mix between counterculture movement and then like people trying to go back to Christian American values. So it was a weird, rough time. Then the
Hmm.
80s, like pro America, everything. You could see it in all the movies, especially the Rocky movies. I swear to God.
Hmm.
The 90s were a weird time. It was equal parts peace and then some people being mad for no apparent reason. And in the
Hmm.
2000s, everything got fucked. Like everything just went downhill.
Well, after 9/11, it was like, all right, this all sucks.
Yeah. But technology got great. So, I mean, there is a trade off,
There was the TikTok or the .com boom. Now there's the
Yeah.
TikTok boom, but yeah, no, it's definitely a lot of shifts, man. It's interesting the progression of how America has come to be, and like it feels like it goes in cycles because like this movie's like, oh, you're in such a divided time, but like there's hope, and it's like, is there really? Is there? We've kind of been like playing this fucking tug of war, man. I don't know. I feel like we complain about America a lot each episode, but I
Yeah.
feel like there's a lot to complain about. So like I'm not out of the realm of I'm not out of the realm of possibilities here, man.
No, I think like there's plenty of moments where I look at today's America and I think like why can't I just be back in like the 60s or 70s where it's like, I can be mad about something, but I can actually like go out and fight and do something about it. Like nowadays it's like you got all these like laws and organizations that like, puts people down if they ever question the system or try and change the system, and it
Well, that's
sucks.
also how it was like back then too. I mean, if you look at like the trial of the Chicago Seven, like they were just like trying to like advocate for peace during a time of like a really needless war, a wasteful war of like human
Yeah,
lives, and like, but then there was the legal system that shut them down, and like a judge that was like, wait a line, dude, like you know what I mean, like.
but it's like it's that today, but like minus the digital age. With the digital age in full swing in our society today, it's like you can't do anything without having like a tweet, a social media post, a fucking video of yourself out there somewhere that gets your ass caught. Like that's the thing.
That's true. Yeah, you
Everything
get
was all on
you.
paper back in the day. Like that's you see a lot of serial killers running around back in the day because like none of that shit had like cameras or anything. It was all on
Yeah,
paper and terrible technology to keep in touch with people.
absolutely. Just yeah, no. I mean, the phones were landlines. You know, like that's the
Yeah.
whole problem. Is like no communication. And I mean, there's still like serial killers today. There was like a guy in like Stockton, dude,
Hmm.
Stockton, California, here, dude, like fucking killing like five people or something, dude.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
But they never hit double digits. Like fucking Ted Bundy was an idiot and he got like over 40 kills probably because it's the
I
70s.
think his
Like
numbers are around like 20 to 30, yeah, something like that.
they confirm that he killed 33, but they think with his method of disposal, the fact that police departments were not exactly that skilled to like look for such an individual like that,
Mm-hmm.
his numbers could be a lot higher actually based on how
Wow.
active he was. Yeah.
Fuck yeah, man.
Fuck yeah.
Good, you gotta bump those numbers up, dude.
Exactly. He just took the Matthew McConaughey speech. Just like, oh, those are rookie numbers, brother. Brother, like you got to bump those numbers
You
up.
gotta bump. You gotta at least kill 3 women a day. You know, like.
Exactly. His motivational speaker is just talking and just like,
Or,
mm, mm.
what was it he said? Was it like he said you have to jerk off 2 times a day or 4 times a day?
It was two
I can't
times a
remember because it
day.
was like right. It was one in the morning, one in the evening, right?
No, it was one in the morning and then one after lunch. I think that's what it was.
One after lunch. Why?
Like,
You're probably at like work or something. What the fuck?
like it,
How do you get like bricked up at work?
okay, and two, like it's back in the '80s. This movie Wolf of Wall Street we're referencing is set in. Like, did
Yeah.
he just go into McDonald's, have an egg McMuffin for lunch, and then just like rub one out? Like, what do you
He's
do?
just ba da ba ba ba. I'm rubbing it in the parking lot. You know what I mean? Like fucking just insane, dude.
Oh no, he's a fucking yuppie. There's no way he's eating at McDonald's. He's like eating fucking sushi and then rubbing one out. Like,
In the fucking in the bathroom that functions as a storage closet.
exactly. And
But
he uses his fucking bidet afterwards. Like,
yeah, exactly, man.
yeah.
No, that's great. Speaking of good movies, dude. Speaking of good movies, you saw Barbarian finally recently, dude. We gotta talk about
Dude,
this fucking movie, dude. Oh my god. Let me hear your
dude.
thoughts first.
This, okay, for anyone who's gonna go see Barbarian, do not look it up. Do not. Well, I mean, look it up to watch the film, but don't like look up any plot or anything or any specifics
Any
on that.
trailers or anything? Yeah.
Just go in completely blind. Just think to yourself, it's a horror movie, like starring the guy from It. Like it's so fucking good. Like
And there's this and the main actress, dude, Georgina Campbell. I can't fucking get over how good she is in that movie, dude.
dude, I knew I
Fucking
recognized her
great.
somewhere. She was in fucking Black Mirror at some point.
Was she really? Oh,
Yeah.
sweet. I love, dude. She stole the fucking show in that movie, dude. I was like,
Yeah.
yo, what I really liked about the movie is it set you into like her shoes. You could really like get like in her space, in her fear, and so every corner is like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
And so it really makes you feel uneasy, man.
And also, like, the movie manages to make, like, what seems like a pretty, like, abandoned, rundown neighborhood, like, the most terrifying fucking thing ever. Like, in almost any other horror movie, it's an extremely isolated location that's like, why the fuck would you be out here? Like, come on.
Hmm.
Detroit, Michigan? I'm terrified to go to Detroit, Michigan now because of this movie. Fuck Detroit, Michigan. You can quote me on
Yeah,
that.
shit's insane, man. It's
Yeah.
dude, I also like I love how it cut to Justin Long at one point. The
Yeah.
way that did that cracked me up. I was like, bro, what the fuck is this now? 'Cause it's got. I also should let the viewers know it's got a lot of comedy in it, but that's like also feeds to its point. It's got a lot of good themes about like I think it has a lot to say about how men treat women and stuff and
Yeah.
how they manipulate them and do horrible things. And I think that's an important message. I think it's very truthful for sure.
Yeah.
And they first make it very direct in the beginning, in a little spiel with Bill Skarsgård, but it doesn't feel forced or anything. It feels like it needs to be there, and it's not overstaying its welcome or anything. But
Yeah.
then they do the theme indirectly by like doing all this other fucked up shit. It's like really cool. It's a really good movie, and it's really suspenseful. And I love the direction it takes. Some of the shots, dude, are just insane.
Dude, like the visuals when she first gets to the house, and it's like, I don't want to give too much away of the movie, but like you see the neighborhood at night at first, and you think, oh, this is like
And there's
creepy
nothing. There's just
and
lights are off, and you're just like, okay, it's just shadows of houses. Should be fine, right? It should be a populated neighborhood.
but
And then she,
it still feels a little creepy and desolate. But you're right, it does feel like a normal neighborhood where people are, living
it's
there.
yeah, it's still a little creepy and desolate because there's no lights on, not a single one except the porch light at the Airbnb she's staying at. And in the morning, you realize the houses are like all trashy and like bad. And no one even lives there. It's like just
Yeah,
some Airbnb in the middle of nowhere.
it's like it looks
And
like the bad part of like Compton. Like there's no like people
it looks
living
like
there.
Hurricane Katrina went through it. You know what I mean? Like it looks fucking. It's bad, dude. It's a bad neighborhood, and then it makes that point more poignant. It really sets you in her shoes of like, holy shit, I'm in a bad area. I'm vulnerable, and then like all these different things are going on, and it's great cinema. I will say the one complaint I have about it is it ends kind of abruptly. For me, at least, it feels like. But I also can't think of a different climax to the film. I think that was probably the best direction it could have gone. But it just, again, it felt very abrupt and out of nowhere. It's like, I don't know, the main villain person thing um, was like, it survived a lot. It survived like a car getting rammed into it between a house and like it was stuck between a house and a car, or then it like jumped off a building and like
Yeah.
survived that fall. But then it was a gunshot that got it in the end. But anyway, I mean, it's a great. Definitely go check it out if you haven't seen it yet. It's a wonderful. It's definitely my top five of this year. It's a fucking great movie. I love that movie.
Okay, well, if there's anything I've learned is that inbreds are built different. Okay, that's just how it is.
That's right, dude. Inbreeding works, guys. Inbreeding works.
It fucking worked. Like, you ever hear the tale of the Sawney Bean clan?
What's that?
So it's an old folklore in Scotland. This was actually the direct inspiration for the movie The Hills Have Eyes. Like Wes Craven has actually said, this folklore has actually inspired me to make this movie.
Oh wow, okay. I have to see that film now. I haven't seen that yet.
So
There's a lot of great movies I haven't seen, but go on.
I could explain in great detail what the Sawney Bean clan is, but here's the long story short. Basically, it's a folklore about this guy named Sawney Bean who didn't want to work, do anything like productive in like 15th century Scotland.
Mhm.
And so
He was a lazy peasant.
he's a lazy peasant, and he got money and means to survive by basically killing people on abandoned roads when they walk by, and he just takes their clothes, their money, everything. He also started eating them too. So
Oh, so he's getting fed, bro. He eating tonight, dude.
he eating tonight, boy. Like, and these are some rich fucks too, so they eat good, so they taste good.
Yeah, back in this day, they were all fat, so yeah, because they were just eating and showing off their wealth.
Exactly. And then he met a girl who was just as twisted as he was, and taught her his ways. And then they decided to start a family together in a cave. And the family, of course, would mate with the other family members, and so on and so forth. And you basically got inbred kind of grandchildren slash normal children. linear wise, depending on how you
My
think about
mom is
it.
my dad's mom. That's fucking terrible. Just man, what the fuck?
Yeah, and then the story, like the only reason why they got caught doing what they do, which was just killing rich people on like abandoned roads that they travel down at night, and just wearing their clothes and like eating them, and using their jewelry and shit. The only reason why they got caught was because a fucking captain and his wife of the military like was riding down the road, and he managed to actually try and fight some of them off back on his own, only to then turn around and see his wife getting literally ripped apart by these fucking savages.
Jesus Christ, man, that's fucking horrendous.
Yeah, and then he managed
That's a
to,
fucking harsh way to watch her go out, man. What the fuck?
and then in the story, because this is all like hearsay, he made it out alive and managed to tell people there's a fucking clan of inbred fuckwits like killing and eating people in a cave near the coastline. And so they send like basically, the king's army after them and catch them and then try them for their crimes and then hang them for their crimes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. And the only reason why people think it's like pretty much folklore is because if this was the biggest public execution in Scottish history, the fact that there is no like detailed writings of anyone belonging to this clan is very fucking sus.
That is, because, like, you'd think, right? But then also, like, it could be that it just got lost to history, because, like, not everything is written down. There's very little of human history that's actually recorded. So, it could be possible that they just lost all record of it. Or it could be also that it is just folklore, since there isn't enough evidence for it.
Yeah, there is actually surprisingly very little about the Old West in America. Cowboys and Indians and whatnot.
Yeah, because, I don't think most of them were literate, were they?
No, they were not. And whatever we had written down, it's like we never actually know exactly how they talk to one another. We just have a
Mm-hmm.
basic idea. We just know they didn't swear because there was a thing about writing down swears when you're like recording history, apparently back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I think damn well they definitely swear like a sailor, like who was drunk. And
I'm certain
also
of it, yeah.
every other thing we know about people back in those old days is like based on how they dressed in photos and like just their own accounts of history and things.
Their own writings and stuff, yeah, their
Yeah.
memoirs and shit.
Yeah. Oh, and another reason why the Sawney Bean thing might actually be like a total folklore hoax is because around the same time, since the UK was a pretty fucked place to live in if you were not actually in England. So when they were
Mm-hmm.
taking over other countries and stuff, they set out to make some propaganda about Scottish people that they're just terrible, less than human, essentially. And how do you do that? You spread a story about Scottish people being incestuous cannibals.
Yeah, that'll fucking do it, man.
Yeah.
That'll do it. That'll do it.
Although jokes on them,
That's
Scotland adopted that fucking folk story and actually like made it a tourist attraction.
no way. What
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
is it like going to like the sites of like the eatings and stuff or what?
Oh yeah, no, because this cave that they talk about in the story that they like all lived in and like went out at night and like killed these people. The cave actually exists. You can go actually visit the cave.
Oh wow, the cave where they supposedly hearsay ate people
Exactly, and fucked each other.
and fucked each other. That's right.
Yeah.
Fucking your sister and eating your neighbor. That's the Scottish dream apparently.
Your sister who's also your cousin getting deep dicked by your dad, like.
I'm trying to like track that one. Wait a minute. Keep track of who's who here.
It's like trying to follow the Joestar family tree. Like it just doesn't make any sense.
Is that a JoJo reference? On the podcast?
Oh my god, a JoJo reference.
All the weebs are gonna go nuts.
Oh, honestly,
this
yeah.
episode. That's insane. There's more Kanye news we can talk about.
Oh yeah.
Did we talk about him walking into Skechers? I feel like we did.
like me and you personally talked about him walking the Skechers, but we never mentioned it on the podcast yet. But now we have. So
Yeah, now it's you just like what was he thinking? I don't know. I don't honestly understand. Like you're like, dude, you're making like poor choice after poor choice. Like, why don't you stop doing that? You know, like get some help. You know, like
stop that. Get some
get some
help.
help. You know, like it's fucking just like, come on, man,
So
just figure it out, man.
Do you know what the cherry on top about all that was?
What's that, man?
Okay, so because Kanye's in hot water from saying anti-Semitic remarks, like because he's on his black supremacy bullshit, uh,
Mm.
he walks into Skechers and probably to do like a business deal with them, like partnership. The company Skechers has been owned by Jewish, families before, and literally the two main guys who run the company are Jewish brothers. Like it's just, it's peak memery. Like, oh my god.
It's just it's good. It's a good example of his stupidity. It's a good example of his negligence.
Yeah.
It's That's fucking like that's some Onion article bullshit.
Yeah.
Man makes anti-Semitic remarks and tries to go to Jewish company to get his dollar back. Like what the fuck, man? Like that's insane. Um, wow. Uh, speaking of the Onion, there was a funny article I saw. It was a real life one. So there was an Onion one and there was a real life one. So the Onion one goes, it's like Biden tries to raise numbers by showing a little ankle or whatever, right? Like on TV, just for like fun. And then
Yeah.
in real life, he shows off his fucking socks on TV.
Okay. In his defense, I think that was a sports related thing, but the fact that that happened after the Onion article is like too
Art
coincidental.
imitates life, man. Art imitates life. And then you're right. It is. It was like he was sporting like Phillies socks, I think, or something. I don't know anything about sports. I don't care about sports. Don't talk to me about sports. I was getting my oil change yesterday, dude, and like the guy,
Yeah.
super nice guy. He was really chill. I drive up. I'm wearing my John Lennon shades, and he's like, "Man, you give off like late '90s, early 2000s surfer vibes." I was like, "Thanks, man. It's like kind of like what I'm going for, dude." But he he was talking to me about like hockey and stuff, and I'm like, "Man, I don't follow that shit." So I was like trying to pretend like I knew anything about it.
Dude, honestly, if anyone talks to me about sports, you just fake it till you make it. Like, the only sport I actually do, like, I would consider watching on a regular basis is basketball, but that's because something's
Basketball is
always.
like exciting actually because like that's just they're running across the course, they're doing stuff. I think hockey's also exciting. I mean, it's the only sport that encourages violence, but it's like it's just a bunch of like skating around and like waiting for things to happen, which is kind of like also baseball. Baseball's like kind of just sitting there and watching, waiting for something to go off. You know what I mean? Like I don't know.
Okay,
It's a little challenging.
with basketball and baseball in particular, like, baseball and basketball both have extremely simple rules to follow. Like, it's actually not that
Hmm.
hard to understand what the fuck is happening.
Yeah. No. Exactly.
The only difference is, like, energy and pacing. Like, basketball, there's always something happening, so you're always on the edge of your
You're
seat.
running around. That's why they're so skinny. They got a lot of cardio on them, man.
Exactly. Like with baseball, like you can see how it starts off, where it's going in the middle of the game, but then like if you're actually at the game itself, you kind of like leave before the game finishes so that we can get out of the parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and
Well,
not
yeah,
just.
it's like no one stays till I don't. People don't usually stay till the last inning unless it's like a close game or something. Like that shit's like insane.
Oh
But
yeah.
like, which can be cool and can be exciting. But the game, I mean, the baseball games I've gone to, they're fun. I just enjoy like kicking back. It's like it's why it's America's pastime because it's like when you're kicking back, nothing's really going on. But then when something goes on, you hear the cheers and you're like, "Oh, what happened?" And you like either like catch it in moment or you watch the replay.
Yeah.
It's like whatever while you're drinking your beer, eating your snacks, whatever. It was cool, man. It's cool. It's fun to go to games, but like it's also like it is just a very I don't. It's a very hard sport to I have to wait for something to happen. It's like with basketball, I can just be watching it the whole time, and like something's going on and stuff. It's great.
Exactly. Also, you're not. You're partially right on hockey. Like there is another sport that also incites violence. It's rugby, but that's encouraged in a sense of brotherly love.
Yeah, rugby's a fucking gnarly sport, man. They don't use any padding.
Yeah,
It's a harsh sport on the body, dude. People like fuck up their knees after playing that stuff for so long. But
dude.
it is a great sport to watch, though. I respect the people who play it.
Oh, honestly, except Mini Lad, he played rugby, and I don't respect him.
Yeah, that whole situation was weird.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
strange.
it's still weird, but yeah, he's the only
Yeah.
one we don't stand that rugby player.
No, the 9 to 5 boys do not stand or stand Mini Lad.
Indeed.
Indeed. What else has been going on in the news?
There was a story about like a woman, some neighbor who like used a pickaxe to break the windows of like another of her neighbor's house.
Come on,
It's
man.
intense, man, and like I don't even know if there was a reason to it. She just started busting them up, and it was crazy. Because here's the like the worst part of the story is like so it's a couple right that was living in the house that got vandalized, and they have a little baby right. They have an infant, and the
Yeah.
infant was by one of the windows that the lady was like breaking, and so the mother-in-law was the one home taking care of it. And so she charges over, grabs the thing, and gets it away from the window before the lady could smash it. But like it's like shit could have like gone south quick, dude.
Dude, I feel incredibly terrible for that, baby and the fucking parent or
The
guardian in this
parents
situation.
like are fucking
Jesus.
like traumatized, man, and they just moved into that house like a few months ago. It's like, bro, what the fuck? Someone vandalized it already, and like it was just some lady. Either she was like really angry or she like had some sort of psychotic break. It's like when you like when you see someone like committing such a like a horrific act of violence, you're like, fuck, we're not supposed to do that. It's like it really rubs you
Hmm.
the wrong way, dude. I don't know.
No, I think like I'm initially like just mortified by the fact that that actually like happened, and like someone was
Hmm.
could have been like fucking seriously injured by this crazy
Or
lady's like
dead,
yeah.
or dead, dude.
But I also think to myself, this happened in America, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I also think to myself, if she happened to hit the one house where like the fucking person inside was always strapped at any given moment,
Oh, had that thing on him, dude,
yeah,
man. Like it would have been over in seconds. It would have been over
her
in
fucking
seconds, dude.
teeth would have been rearranged by fucking 9 mil. Are you kidding me? Like, which I don't
Yeah, dude.
condone, shooting people in the street when
But
they
like
do
if they're
like shit
also
like
like if they're
that.
breaking your house and stuff and like threatening your family and shit, like she said like as she walked away, she said like I'll be back. Like it's like what the fuck, man.
It's like you're fucking asking for it. Like if you're doing this shit in Japan or something, like yeah, you're gonna get tackled by like cops. Like you do this shit in America, you fucking die. There's a 50% chance you're gonna fucking die.
There's probably a 70% or 80% chance you fucking die, dude. Like it's insane. And
Well,
it's
no, it's 50-50 because the person you're attacking either has a gun or doesn't. Like then it's 50-50. Like
that's fair, that's fair.
yeah.
But the only thing that could stop a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. Eric, don't you know that argument?
Exactly, like the guy who tried to shoot his girlfriend in the car and then the bullet ricocheted and he killed himself.
Wait, what?
That was an actual story, yeah.
So wait, why was he trying to kill the girlfriend? Was it like she was fighting him or something?
Because he was an abusive prick, and then he pulled a
Oh.
gun, so you kind of know exactly where that's going. But
So a bad guy with a gun stopped a bad guy with a gun.
exactly, yeah, yeah. Whatever God exists, he was just like, you know what? I'm gonna spare this one girl in the most amazing way possible.
That's like some Michael Myers type of death shit. Like in like the last Halloween like Kills movie, he like fucking kicks a door and the lady's like shooting at him, right? But like he kicks it enough that it bumps the gun and she shoots herself. That's like insanity, dude.
Yeah, I saw that because I think you retweeted that. Like she's
I did,
missing
yeah, that's
like
right.
every
Every shot.
shot.
And then he kicks the door and it just smacks the gun around and she shoots her and it's like as she's pulling the trigger or whatever, it's like I don't even know if that would work, man. But that was me and Cam were dying in the theater when that happened. But like also like that's a really horrible way to go. But like also, I wouldn't say like he deserved it, but he was an asshole, so it's like he won't be missed. You know what I mean? Like if he was an abusive asshole, fuck that,
Dude, if you're an
man.
abusive asshole and pull a gun in a closed environment like a car, like you are a terrible person, and I'm honestly not mad that that bullet took him out though.
I feel really bad for the lady. She's like double traumatized. She's
Yeah.
traumatized from his like abuse, and she's traumatized from his death because she like that's like on some Pulp Fiction shit. Like Marvin died at the back seat, dude. Like you know what I mean? Like fucking crazy, man.
Oh my!
That's intense. That's a traumatic event, bro.
I didn't even think about that. You're right. But no, literally, like, so he's in the driver's seat, she's in the passenger seat. They're having an argument. He pulls a fucking gun. He aims to his side like this, pulls the trigger, and completely misses. But then the bullet ricochets and kills him. It comes back around and kills him.
Jesus, man, it like deflected off of something.
Yeah, I think it probably deflected off like the passenger side. You know where the door is like it's like on the very edge, like backside passenger door on the very edge where there's metal.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, probably hit that, ricocheted a little off the glass, then back on the windshield glass, and then came back and hit him.
Jesus, man, that's
Yeah,
horrendous.
because for anyone who doesn't know,
That's also a lucky shot.
I know. Because anyone who
It's like
doesn't know,
it could have deflected onto the chick and like hurt her or even killed her in some way. That's like Jesus, man. But also, he was an idiot. That was a really bad way to fire a gun. He has like no control over here, like fucking just and like
yeah,
that's like some on Thousand Ways to Die level of shit. I can't believe we were watching that when we were in middle school. That's like a horrendous show to put on in front of preteen men or boys, I should say, who are like going through puberty. This is like that's just like not good content for my developing brain, I will say.
okay, in our defense, though, we were watching that instead of Mansers or Live Leak. If we were watching Live Leak, we would have been traumatized. If
Oh, Live Leak, we would be like way worse people than we are now.
Yeah, if we were watching Mansers, we'd probably be incels by now. Like, I'm sorry, that's just how it is.
That's true. That's very true. It's a very like yeah, for what I've seen, it's very much a show that encourages that culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd be looking at two Andrew Tates right here if we were watching Mansers instead of A Thousand Ways to Die. Think about
That's
that.
right. And then we get Insta banned and Twitter banned and fucking what did he get banned off of? YouTube. He got banned off of so many social media apps. That's insane.
Dude, he got banned off of everything, man. He got banned out of like Popeyes, the chicken restaurant. He got banned out of the settings, app on your iPhone.
They banned him on the settings app?
Yeah.
That's fucking you can't even like wow. Wow. You can't even access wow.
We're joking, obviously. Like, of course, he got banned from social media websites, but like, we're joking on what else he got banned from. He got banned from Chuck E. Cheese. They don't condone that type of shit.
They don't. They don't condone. They don't condone that shit. Yeah, that whole thing. You know, I was talking. So I'm seeing this girl right now, right? And like I was talking to her about like just basic. You know, it was funny because like I made an observation. You know, we were talking about like bodily choices and stuff. I was like, yeah, you do what you want, man. You're your own person. You can, you know, it doesn't fucking matter to me. And like it's like she was like she thanked me for that, and I was like, you shouldn't have to, but like I also get why because men are just garbage. Men are horrible, which is the point of Barbarian. If we want to circle around this conversation back, it's like yeah, it's interesting, man. I can't believe the bar is so low for us. Like the movie Men, right? That's another good horror movie. That also makes it. Oh man, that might be like. I gotta start making a top 5 of like horror of regular movies and top 5 of horror movies because that movie was insane and the ending was like. Have you seen it yet?
I have not, but I've heard good things about it. Most of them
Definitely check it out. Definitely check it out. The ending is fucking strange. I don't even get it still at this point. It's very much like it's got Annihilation kind of vibes of confusion.
Yeah.
But it was a great movie. It's great. It's phenomenal. I was scared out of my seat. I liked the story that was developing. It was really interesting. I liked the point it had to make. I thought it was very good. But yeah. Back to my earlier point is like you know it's just the bar is so low for us as men. Which is why I try to be I try to be as nice as possible. I try to be very much just like leave people alone. I'm not very good at making first moves because I don't want to make anyone uncomfortable or anything. So I'm just like, I'm going to stay in my fucking lane here. Yeah, man.
Yeah, no, that's honestly me 100%. Like, that's why I just jerk off and don't go on dates, you know?
You save enough for home.
Exactly, bro. Like, because I'm also trying to, like, work on myself. Like, I am not a huge fan of myself for the most part. So I'd rather not try and put that on another person. So yeah.
I mean, I get that.
Yeah.
I had that same feeling in college. And it's good that you to focus on yourself for a little bit because I mean, like if you can't appreciate yourself, you can't appreciate anybody else. You know what I mean? Like you you got to have that self respect before you can give that love. You know what I mean? Like it's
Exactly. Or can't expect someone else to like appreciate me like if I don't appreciate myself. Like it's just,
mhm.
yeah.
Can't have that expectation if you're not even willing to do it. But that's a good observation, man. I get
Yeah.
that. I was in that same boat for a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. What else has been going on in the world this week? What else has been going on? Um, did we talk about Elon buying Twitter?
We did not know.
We haven't talked about this yet. Okay, so yeah, so that was like I don't even, I just like I use it daily. I use the app, which is like not healthy because I know I doom scroll a lot, which is like a really bad thing to do. But I'm also not particularly kept up to date. I know he like did the dumb joke with like oh, let that sink in. It's like where he brought the sink into the headquarters and stuff. But he's been like firing a bunch of people, right? Is that true?
Yeah, yeah, no, and it kind of people are like surprised, like, oh man, like of course you fucking do this. I'm like, well, yeah, of course you do this. Like any big transition, like that usually happens. Like people
There's
for
usually layoffs that come with it.
yeah, people forget about like the 20th Century Fox like buy up from Disney, and it's like cool, like the Fantastic Four and the X-Men are like in the main Marvel Cinematic Universe, but a lot of people lost their jobs. Like,
Well, it's like
uh,
that's what happens when you spend a lot of money. Is like this motherfucker, and also it's like the choice to spend his money on something as frugal as a website. You know what I mean? As the ownership of a website, so that people can't shitpost about him. It's like that's such an ego thing that like it kind of bothers me. But it's also like I know like he's just an idiot, but he's also got a lot of influence because of his money. So it's like you should not be such an idiot. Um, but but he could have spent that money on like other things. He could have like put that towards like goodwill of humanity and like curing diseases or ending world hunger as he says he could. Like what the fuck, man? Why would you rather? It's absolutely an ego thing. Is why he would spend 41 billion. It was 41 billion, right, on
it
Twitter.
was 44 billion. It wasn't even directly.
44.
Yeah, it wasn't even directly from him. You gotta also keep in mind he got it from investors, people who like loaned him this money to buy the site because he
Oh,
doesn't
so now
have
he owes people money.
yeah, because he doesn't have liquid assets. Period. Like he may be worth a lot of money, but that's just on paper. Like everything he's worth is because of the companies and the moves that he does. He doesn't actually own any money that gives him that sense of self worth.
Oh
Uh,
wow.
and again, if people are loaning him this money, they got to make money back on the investment,
They're
right?
expecting that they get their money back, or even then some. That's what investors do. They want to make profit, but like,
Exactly.
oh, this is gonna be bad. This is gonna be bad.
Yeah.
It's gonna be bad for Elon. Fuck me. This is gonna be. We're gonna watch his breakdown in real time on Twitter. Like, he does not know what he got himself into, man. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Well,
I can't believe.
it's also that, and sorry to cut you off. Go
No,
on.
I think I was finished.
So it's not only that, like we're gonna watch his mental breakdown in real time because again, like running a social media site is way fucking different than a car company. I'll tell you that.
hmm
And two, like we're gonna see it on the user side too because there's already talks to have like the verification rules being changed because you have to have a certain amount of like followers to get like a verified, check
hmm
mark.
Yeah, to get a blue check mark, as it were.
Yeah, he's gonna change that to be like, oh, you pay $20 a month and you get the verified check mark.
Yeah, that's right. He was doing the payment plan. It's like that's just him trying to make back on the investments.
Exactly. Yeah.
Um.
Because again,
Oh.
a man like Elon Musk could use that money to like cure, world hunger or like major diseases around the planet. However, investors never invest on that type of shit because there's no return value on that
There's
except
no profit
moral.
on human life. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Yeah, and all they see is dollar signs. They don't see fucking human life. They see dollar signs. So of course they're gonna invest on a company like this because they think Elon can like make money off of it and return their investment. That's how it
But then
goes.
he's not gonna make money off of it because like if I saw a report that was like there was a 500% increase in the use of the N word since he bought Twitter, like a 24-hour period, which is like insane, and people are just testing limits. But like if people like advertisers aren't gonna want to keep their ads on the website if it's gonna be spreading hate and stuff and like disgusting things that don't agree with their audience and stuff.
Yeah.
And so it's like Because I mean, corporations don't care about morals or ethics; they care about image.
Yeah.
Don't ever think different. But yeah. So it's like that's gonna just lose them even more money. So it's like this is gonna be a really like I don't know. It's like I'm a big believer in like freedom of speech. Like that's how you and I are able to have this conversation right now over the internet and post it to
Yeah.
different people. It's like that's the power we. That's because of the rights. I think I was watching a George Carlin a bit, and he was saying like rights aren't rights; they're just privileges. Because like rights can be taken away, and like they're just privileges given by the government of what you can do until they say, "Hey, we don't like you doing that." But anyway, so I think like the right to freedom of speech and expression is like fine and dandy. But like you should also like be aware of the consequences. You should know like what's okay to say and what's not okay to say. Like what's gonna get like a general like bad vibe from people. Like I mean, you could feel free to say whatever the fuck you want. You should just also be ready. You should just also be ready for the reaction that you're gonna get when you say
Yeah.
what you're gonna say. It's like it's I think that's a lost art upon so many people on the internet because like I think with the internet it creates an anonymity that like a regular user, right, they can call themselves like jack off robot 1984 or something, right, like they can be spewing dumb shit and like racist shit on the internet, sexist shit, homophobic, whatever the fuck it might be, but
Yeah.
Elon's on the internet and he's a very recognizable person in real life, so people will know the stupid shit they'll know who he is and they can track him down. It's not that hard. So I think that's why that's been lost in the age of the internet is because of the anonymity that you can obtain.
I think there's also two things with like the freedom of speech thing. Like freedom of speech, I'm 100% for. Like you should be able to say certain things that are on your mind and whatnot. That
You
like
should be able to say like your Congress, like your local congressman's a cunt or something, right? You should be able to say that shit.
exactly. I should be able to say that Ted Cruz is a fucking asshole who like
Yeah,
gets off on our Lord and Savior Trump calling his wife ugly.
yeah. You can like he can gargle a bag of dicks. He fucking Ted Cruz sucks.
Yeah, Ted Cruz
95.
sucks.
Fuck Ted Cruz. All my homies hate Ted Cruz.
Fuck him. And also fuck Trump while we're at it. I was joking
Yeah,
about Lord and
exactly.
Savior. But also, there's two things with that. Like, with freedom of speech, yeah, you should be able to say things that are on your mind. Call your congressman a cunt if he is a cunt. Uh, but if you're actively spreading like terrible things towards a group that has like been literally tortured, killed, and genocided by literally everyone under the sun, Catholics, or no, not Catholics, Christians, Romans, Russians, the Nazis at some point. Like Kanye West, he's on next level shit. Like that is the prime example of what you shouldn't do with it's free speech. Like I can do this. No, it's not a free speech issue. It's obviously a hate thing.
Yeah, if you're spreading if you're telling people if you're telling a group of people that they're worth less because they're a part of that group, it's like that's just straight up
Yeah.
that's just straight up hate, bro, and that's not okay.
Or they just
I mean,
stole your identity because you read that on the internet. Like that's
right.
incredible. Like wow.
It's like it's cool to hate on an individual person because an individual is making their choices. Ted Cruz, we keep bringing up as an example. I'm sure there's other examples of congressmen, but he's just also a certain type of cunt. But
Yeah.
he's making his individual choices, moronic as they may be. But but when you start picking on like a collective and start bullying them, it's like the collective, they have of course they have a certain culture, but they're not. Each individual is making their own choices, and each individual they come from that same group maybe, but they're all different personalities and stuff and different types of people. So it's like it's that generalization that's like not healthy and not good for moving humanity forward and shit. You know what I mean? It's like
Exactly. And then you got the exact opposite with Elon Musk when it comes to free speech. Because as much as he says he's for free speech and everything, I knew for a second, as soon as he bought this fucking website, that he was going to start banning people who talk shit about him. And
that's the only reason he bought it is he wants to get rid of people who talk shit about him, and he wants. I think the other was he wants to be like a good shit poster, and he's not right now. He's not a good shit poster. But if he's
no.
like, well, I'll own the website where you can shit post the most, I'll be the best shit poster. It's like, no, you won't. Jack was like not even a good shit poster or a good poster in general. I don't think.
No, he posted like
Um,
maybe 2-3 times a year, and then he's just like meditating the rest of the time. Like, what the fuck? Like, Elon,
Yeah, and it's not even banger tweets, man. It's not even spitting out banger tweets.
no.
But no, Elon's just trying to be a master shit poster, which is why he did that video of like when he bought it and stuff. Um, I kind of feel bad for the guy sometimes. I'm sure it must be very lonely and isolating, not understanding how the fuck people behave or how they should behave.
Well,
Um,
there is that, but then there's also you also got to look at the fact that like he's banning people who talk shit about him. So a, that's just wrong in general. That's everything against free speech. Period.
yeah,
And two, like of course he's gonna use the site to like make money off of it, and therefore it's gonna be unfair to people who don't have money, but of course it's gonna feel fair to people who have money because they can just buy whatever the fuck they want, including
yeah, they don't have to worry
verifications.
about it. They're not concerned.
So it's
It's
like
not.
it's going to be completely unfair to literally everyone. So it's like it's going to be fascinating to see the hypocrisy in real time.
There might be a decrease in users. I mean, there probably won't be. Twitter is so big, and it does have great content. I see some like crazy ass tweets. I see some dumbass stuff. I see the usual of like, oh, who are we angry at today? Which is like why I hate that website. Is like there's so much unhealthy stuff, but there's also a lot of funny stuff that keeps bringing me back.
Well,
But
here's how
yeah.
you could like fix the problem by like destroying Twitter. Here's how you do it. Okay, Elon does this thing. It's a slippery slope on like losing user base and whatnot. People would be like, "This is bullshit. Why am I on here? Fuck this place."
Hmm.
If enough people leave and just don't come back on for a while, get some fresh air, go outside, touch some grass, actually like not doom scroll on Twitter for a while. Twitter fucking crashes then because there's no users, period. There's no way they're making money, period. The
Because there's
the
no engagement. Yeah.
exactly, like the whole thing just comes tumbling down on its own because of like the choices that he makes. After it crashes and burns, all the best people, and seriously, this is why a lot of like right wing geared like social media sites are terribly managed because no one who knows how to code or run a social media website spreads hate speech. So therefore, they're not going to get the best technicians to actually build these fucking sites in the first
Oh,
place.
absolutely not. No, they're gonna pick the bottom of the barrel because it's usually smarter guys who are like, oh, I shouldn't be saying shit like that. I mean, like, there might be some techies who are like a little off, but like, typically they're of like a higher thinking of like, oh wait, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
they're
like
not
fucked up
like
to say, man.
violently racist degenerates like that.
It's like it's absolutely. I think racism at its core absolutely comes out of a place of like just not being educated properly on like perspective and stuff. Like I learned a
Yeah.
lot of perspective when I was in high school and like a lot more when I was in college, and I was like, damn man, like I'm not saying like college education is perfect. I generally will say I will stick by the statement: don't go to college. Don't go to college when you graduate high school. Just go explore your shit, figure your shit out. You're 18. You don't know what the fuck you want. I'm 25. I know what I want now. Like I went to college. I went into college when I was 17. I started studying a different major. But anyway, so um, I think it's very much like it's a lack of perspective. It's a lack of understanding. A lack of just of education, right? Because like I mean, because of the problem of humanity, we don't have the ability to look outside of our perspective unless we hear somebody else's, and they like tell us like, oh, this is what happened to me, and it's like, oh well, shit, okay, sorry to hear that, man. That's like terrible, and and if enough people, I always think this is like if enough people are saying one thing, you should probably hear them out. If there's enough people saying one message, just fucking listen to them and hear what they have to say, and then analyze it from there. But yeah, man, it's a fucked up system, and it's shit like this that's like it's this. It's a slippery slope. It feels like it's like I completely agree with the fact that you should be able to say what you want, but then it's like that kind of like teeters into like, well, I can say whatever I want, and it's like, yeah, you could, but you also like if you say like a slur in like a neighborhood with a population that's impacted by that slur, you might get your lights knocked out. You know what I mean? Like it's like think before you speak.
Yeah.
It's not or just here's some great advice for everyone in 2022. Here's some great advice that I'm going to leave this off with is just know when to shut the fuck up. Just know when to shut the fuck up. It's like you don't have to share every thought, every opinion you have. it's not even, some of it's probably not even interesting. Some of the shit I said, even tonight on the pod, is probably not interesting. But like, just know when to shut the fuck up. Just know your limits.
100%. Be your own fucking lawyer. Shut the fuck up when you need to. Like, damn. Like,
Be the one to tell yourself, man, don't incriminate yourself. It's like,
exactly. Just, when you think to yourself, should I say this? Just plead the fifth. Just do that. Just do that
be your own
internally.
Saul Goodman. Just be your own Saul Goodman, dude. It's all good, man.
It's all good, man.
Um,
But no, like back to my original point. Like, if enough people leave Twitter and it just crashes and burns on its own because there's no user base, no interaction whatsoever,
hmm
and no money to be made, it crashes and burns. You get some of the best, techies like who save the source code because you can actually do that on Twitter, and just start your own Twitter again. But this time, because Twitter's gone, there's no reason for them to sue or anything, and then you just build your own social media website, and then don't go back to that. Or
yeah, don't let some fucking billionaire schmuck buy your fucking website to make shitty ass shit posts. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, or if it does crash and burn in
um,
the next installation, just rinse and repeat. Because history, it moves in cycles, as we've seen. Like,
yeah, just move on to the next website. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. That's just. I think it's a good place to end it here.
yeah. A
What
little
do you
bit of
say?
doom
We
and
clock
gloom, but
out.
yeah.
I think that seems to be a lot of our themes. But I mean, the world is fucked, and like, we'll drink and talk about it. So
Yeah, that is true. All right.
this is the 9 to 5 boys clocking out. Till next
Indeed.
time.
Till next time.